Go live. And then from the broadcast, then we added. Okay. Oh, well, shit. Okay, hold on. Why is it making me do this? Okay. What did I do here? Because I'm so late. I have to. What do I have to do here? So it's telling me Facebook automatically removes the broadcast if it's over 10 minutes late. Deleted from Facebook if you edit the start time directly on Facebook or the clock on your device is wrong. This may be incorrect. In that case, you should try going live. If it doesn't work, okay, let's just try going live. No, can't do it. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. Delete on Facebook. Okay.
How's your blood pressure doing?
It's elevated about 15 points right now.
Breathe in and breathe out.
Yeah. Right.
All work out better than you could ever imagine.
It's all going to work out better than you can ever imagine.
We're going to do it right now. We're going live. Let me tell you. Okay. So I'm going to start with me, and then we're going to bring you guys in after I do a little opening. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. So the best part about this, if everybody doesn't know, when we go live, sometimes there's technical difficulties and sometimes there's operator error. So I think you just heard that last exchange with my guests here. We are live now. Yeah, I don't know. Facebook does some weird things sometimes. I don't know if you guys are users of when you're trying to have content like this, but yeah. So it kept telling me I couldn't go live, but it seems like I was live that entire time. So how about that? And yes, I'm going to do some breathing exercises to get my blood pressure down because that just gave me a big... Anyway, but it's Christmas time. It's the holidays. Here we are on the Healthy Trinity Show. We are live and we're going. So today, our guests are, as I've advertised, it's the Powerhouse team, Powerhouse couple, Mark and Shara. My experience with Mark and Shara has been one of the things that they've really come to focus on and really discover through a lot of digging, through a lot of being uncomfortable, through a lot of not just easy times, but finding purpose, finding why. And they did that by staying consistent in their mission. They did that by persevering through not so great times and a lot of self-discovery. So those are my guests. That's who I'm going to bring on today's Mark and Shara, and I've got something in store for you. So here's Mark and Shara. Let's go. All right, they are here with us live, Mark and Shara. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Oh, we're stoked to be here.
By the way, can we have a copy of that video when this is all done?
Absolutely. Yeah. Whatever you guys need. Yeah. But everybody out there watching, how cool is that? Look at this. This is married life goals. right here. You guys are like goals when it comes to married life and how it should be. There was a picture in there of Mark with flowers, and I was like, what lady wouldn't want like that smile and the flowers? And I mean, Sure, you're a lucky lady. Okay.
I know this. And the best part about all of that is that now, we have 3 boys, we call them the wolf pack, is that
right.
he's training them, he's teaching them to do the same.
Yes. Good. That is amazing. And those are the kind of things that we, as fathers, that's our goal. We strive to like pass down that stuff. That's just, it's we want them to be more gentlemen. We want them to be more giving and more loving than we ever were. And it's all about increasing that legacy, right?
It is. At the end of the day, I don't own these 3 souls, these 3 little boys, right? I'm a temporary custodian of them.
Yeah.
And my job, as I see it, is to create citizens, to create, participating members of community, right? And all that starts with confidence, right? With knowledge and simple tools, and then follow through, right? And it's not hard, right? It's difficult, but it's pretty simple.
It is. It's the follow through. It's the consistency, and it's basically. And I wanted to show this to you because you know what this is, Shara. It's about showing up, right? That's the bracelet I got from you that says "show up," and I wear this still every day because it's important to show up every day for the people that need us, like our kids, to show them these things in life. It's important to show up for our family, for our spouses, for our friends, and for the people that need us, that are dependent on us to be their guides to a healthier life, or their cheerleaders or their coaches. And so this is just a great reminder. Like you said, it's a consistency of just being there and showing up. So again, you guys, this is a great one that I've been looking forward to. I was kind of want to have you guys on for a while because I have these shows and I have these guests on because these are stories that people need to hear. These are things that, through this program, through this journey, mentorship, whatever, we're doing, any stage that we're at, is this program meets us where we're at, right? We don't have to organize a few things or get a few things done. Wherever we're at in life, whatever our circumstance, whether it's, families that need to get healthy, or, nursing mothers or teenagers or adults, or it meets us where we're at, and it has something for everybody, which is one of the things I absolutely love. But what I want to do first is I want to get into your guys' story of when you started with this program, where you were, how, just kind of a brief overview of your journey with this and where you ended up.
Yeah, it's awesome timing too. You with your Christmas hat and your awesome lights and your tree in the background. Our story starts 7 years ago on December 18th. Hey. Right. So for all you people out there that say, who starts a health and wellness program over, the holidays, this guy did. Right. Yeah. So I grew up an athlete. I was an athlete for a very long time. Loved athletics. Loved running, loved working out, loved all of it. And there was so much opportunity and gift that came from that experience. But like everything, the yin and the yang, I also received a whole lot of negativity with it, which is around diet and nutrition. I had zero focus, zero education, and quite frankly, zero respect was given to the importance of nutrition and diet. And after I was done college, after I was done, playing sports competitively, I took all that competitiveness and I harnessed it into the corporate business world. And I went to work to have the same amount of success there as I had in sports, and it worked. But what came with it was, 75 pounds worth of weight, right? So and this is the typical notching up, right? It's like, my first 5 years of college, I went from 200 pounds to 215 pounds. Then I met Shara, And then it's like, okay, I got to get in shape. Right. So then I come back down to 205 pounds. And when I got to 205, I felt good. I'm good at 205. I never got back down to that 200. But I was 205. I looked good. I felt good. I was like a 33-inch waist, blah, blah, blah. Then I got off the South Beach diet. And then boom, 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 boom. And then I went up to 225, 230. Then I went on keto or whatever it was. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. The latest fad.
Stacked all the way up, and it was 7 years ago. I went back for a buddy's wedding, and another friend of mine, a brother from another mother, pulled me aside. He's like, Wiley, I'm scared for you. You're gonna have a heart attack. Wiley men are not blessed with gray hair, right? Like we tend to die young. That's the legacy, and a lot of that's lifestyle related. So on December 11th, and it was December 11th, 2014. I was watching TV with Shara, and I was sweating for no reason around my neck. The next day, I called my health coach, and I placed my order. I literally threw my credit card at him. I didn't even know what I was buying. And December 18th was my first weigh-in. I thought I was going to weigh in at 255 pounds. I weighed in at 272 pounds. I had to lose 17 pounds to be the fattest I had ever been. Right? I love the fact that I can look back on that and laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for everyone out there, I wasn't laughing then.
Yeah.
That was sad. And I hadn't been on a scale in years. And I know what that demoralizing feeling is. I know what that humiliation is. I know what it's like to thank God for steam, so I don't have to see the body in the mirror, right? And it's like, So on Christmas morning on 2014 was my first weigh-in, and legitimately, as our kids are waiting to run down the hallway to see the gifts that Santa Claus left them, I get on the scale first and I see the gift that this program actually gave all of us. Yes. And it was 13 and a half pounds that first week. And over the course of the next 4.5 months, I proceeded to drop 75 pounds. Wow. And our lifestyle had completely changed. Wow. And, speaking to where people, meeting people where they stand, that's what happened was, it met me where I was then. Yeah. Which was playing golf and walking 18 holes, swimming and taking my shirt off and not being embarrassed, going for bicycle rides with my children. And then, and it immediately started having ripple effects, right? Like with your dad and with, close family and friends that saw some hope. You go from a size 40, 42-inch waist to a size 32, 33-inch waist. Trust me, people notice.
Yeah.
People see it. People notice it. It's a pretty impactful deal.
It was exciting because almost every week he'd have a little mini fashion show.
Yeah, it was.
He was so stoked. I think you were down to one suit that you were wearing comfortably. So it was so exciting to watch his confidence just grow. Yeah. And his involvement with the boys was phenomenal. And we have to mention just intimacy as a couple completely transformed as huge. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That is a massive, and it's unspoken.
It is.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's taboo to talk about it, right? It's a third rail. It's like, but it is true. Yes. Right? Because it had nothing to do with her. It had everything to do with me. It had everything to do with my own energy levels. Like sometimes I think about how much muscle my body had to pump full of blood. That is a huge amount of work that my body had to do to support that weight. And then once that's all freed, it just creates that whole new level.
Right. You're literally, it's literally freedom for your body to now focus on other things other than just surviving. Absolutely. Right. Just to get enough of the energy to get up from the couch and move around. Now you're jumping up off the couch and you're wrestling with the boys and you're doing all this stuff because your body is free. Right?
It's the truth. Yeah. And I'm wrestling with my wife.
And yeah, exactly. And it's like all of a sudden you're like, yep.
That's tired. The match I
Are you tired? I'm not tired.
Yeah.
But that's a great thing. That is, when we talk about, like you said, it's unspoken. It's something that really, it's a little taboo. But when we think about our energy levels in our body, when we think about not only that, but when bodies are functioning correctly and we're healthy, our sex drive just skyrockets to the levels it's so supposed to be. But nobody wants to talk about that. But that is an unspoken thing that we don't, when we think about losing, 40, 50 pounds, that also improves too. But it's confidence.
It's not part of the disclaimer.
No, it's not part of it.
I don't have a disclaimer for that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, just, I have a few disclaimers here, but not that one. But anyway, so it's one of those things with unspoken, benefits from just being healthy, just treating your body, right? Treating your body good, because being an athlete, like you've done all your life, but neglecting, basically you were using the fact that you're an athlete and that you were younger, right? This is how I'm healthy. And I felt the same way. I was into sports but never had that component of proper nutrition, and never like formal exercise, like hitting the gym a lot and all that. Never really did that. And age whooped my ass.
Yeah.
When I turned at least 35, things started going downhill. And when I hit 40, that was my wake up call too, Mark, was just to say, we need to talk. I'm calling my coach and we need to talk. I need to do something right now. So that's kind of the same thing where I just realized one day, I mean, I did have neck sweat just like you did, but those were one of the light bulb. Okay, I got to do something here. Just one of those moments. And that was your turning point. And that's, thank you for sharing that, because I guarantee if you've been there, other people have been there. And so I want them to know that all you need to do, it takes 15 seconds to pick up a phone and call, 15 seconds to reach out to Shara or to you or to me or to somebody to say, I need to change. I need something different. And we're going to meet you where you are. So tell me then, when your body started changing, how did the mindset change too? Because not only, it's not just a matter of doing your routine and creating new habits, but how does the mindset play into that for you guys? Were you able to easily make that transition, or was it tough?
So that's where I think that's where Shara's side of the business, really, Shara's experience comes in.
Yeah.
Shara's mindset, I think, and it's funny because she didn't have the weight loss journey, but she saw my energy levels, right? From being on a 5-1, she saw, how I was eating. She saw what that was doing from a metabolic rate, and that got her interested. And then, I think that you had the bigger psychological shift.
Yeah, absolutely. I always said he lost the physical weight. I lost the mental weight.
Yep.
So what it did is, so many people were asking, what'd you do? I mean, 75 pounds isn't something that you can hide. People are going to notice, right?
Right. You see it.
And that's where we made that transition. And it's part of it. I mean, that's really the key to anything long-term is, the client becomes the teacher. Right. And my dad reached out and he said, I'm not going to call somebody I don't know. I know you coached me. And so I started coaching him. And what I realized is that I really enjoyed doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was something that I wanted to do. I kind of landed, I tripped upon my purpose, but the mental struggle that was there for a couple years lingered, because I was still in a corporate role. I was in this profession that I thought was where I was supposed to be. But my mindset and I was being drawn to this as being, my mission was to help other people find what we had found. And I struggled with that for a while. I struggled with developing a healthy mindset in terms of, just going for it. Just stepping into an area where I was uncomfortable and, stepping into the world of becoming an entrepreneur. I'll be honest with you. I'm a mom of 3, it was a very scary thing to break away from something that was very comfortable and, take charge and step into that role. He was always the one that was very, very driven when it came to his career. He was the primary breadwinner. And what this program did is I had the mental shift where it's like, you know what? I want to show my boys what a success looks like, that their mom is a complete badass and she's going to stand up and do her own thing. And that's where my shift came. And it all came from this program. It's so funny. You think, oh, I'm just going to start a diet. Yeah. But the incredible thing is that when you start to feel better physically, it has a ripple effect into all other areas. I mean, we talked about relationally, now behaviorally, financially, with your community around you, with your friendships. It's just, it's incredible.
It's big.
It's huge. And it does. It opens so many doors, but it starts with that first need of, got the next one. I'm doing something. But then the ripple, you know what I mean? That turning point leads to your breakthrough point, right? And so that ripple effect, I never would have guessed any of the benefits that I've gotten from this, that I've used to improve my life, the self-development portion of it, the giving back and the coaching. I never would have thought just by saying, okay, I need to lose some weight. I got to do something. I'll call Jamil. You know what I mean? So it's one of those that you have to hit that breaking point, that turning point for you to break through.
But everything in life starts. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you said something, and you're so powerful with what you just brought up. Everything about our life starts with our nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. So whenever we have big moments as a family, which we have, right? And we're fortunate, right? Because the older we get, the more predictable these moments become, because we've already had these experiences before, so we can see them. Yeah. So we're about to come into a very busy season for us and our family and our life, which is going to be January, probably through May. Mm-hmm. First thing we did was get our nutrition under ourselves. So this week we went back onto our 5-in-1 program, because we know that we're going to give ourselves 2 weeks lead time coming into this busy season, because our nutrition is going to allow us to go to bed earlier, get a sounder night's sleep, wake up earlier, start our day earlier, connect with each other earlier, be prepared for our children to come down, start our day off. So by the time our children come down at 7 a.m., her and I will have already been awake for 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yep.
All of that doesn't happen unless we start our nutrition today.
That is structure.
It's beautiful.
That is some amazing structure, to know the predictability, to know we need 2 weeks lead time. We're going to be doing A, B, C, D 3 hours before everybody wakes up. And the productivity again, the ripple effect. But the genesis point of it starts with just the nutrition. Let's get that on point. The rest will flow from there. And I always say it's like a river that's being dammed up. And once you release that dam, it all flows. Just all starts flowing again. And like you said, it's the nutrition for you. For all of us, it's the nutrition. When we start treating our body better, our lives get better.
It is.
So there's one thing this kind of resonated with you. We were talking with another client. Our bodies are the one thing that has been fighting for us from day one. From day one. Yes. And think about everything we're going through right now with COVID. Mm-hmm. It's the one thing that no matter what we do to it, it's going to fight for our well-being. And the best way to show self-love, and it's going to be there until our last day on earth.
Wow.
So why why don't we treat it like the incredible vessel that it is that's carrying us through this life? It's the ultimate form of self-love, in my opinion.
Right.
It is. It is. And the nutrition component of it and the education side of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it, what is a healthy amount of protein? It's not what I thought it was.
Yeah. Me neither.
Right?
No, I didn't know jack about nutrition.
Oh, we knew nothing. And the next thing
we knew the food pyramid, right?
Yeah,
that's what we were fed with, the food pyramid.
Yes.
Which is an advertising and marketing tool. That's all that is, right? So it
doesn't actually teach you anything.
No, it just doesn't. Now it teaches you, where to buy, right?
Yeah,
so, at the end of the day, it's just everything about our life starts out with our nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times when we throw it out the window and then we regret it.
Oh yeah, that's the best way. Wow, I really felt good. Now
I don't. Right?
Oftentimes, with our clients, the first thing, it's always after that first slice of pizza, and they're like,
"Oh,
damn,
that
I'm
was
really
a
regretting
mistake.
that now."
That was
still as good. Was it pizza?
I know. Oh, I know all too well. Oh, it's horrible. So what do you think? Okay, so I want to back up real quick. We talked about doing things, our body and treating it well, and it feels good, and then we throw it out the window for a slice of pizza, and then we regret it and we feel bad. When that happens, because inevitably it does happen to everybody, when that temptation comes, when we want to just blow it all on a big plate of whatever, what is the mindset for you? What kicks in for you to keep you on track?
I think, if I may, we are of this idea that we have to be perfect in everything that we do. We're human beings, not human doings. We're just being human, right? My favorite saying is, okay, so you got a flat tire, fix the flat and carry on. Don't go pop the other 3. Yeah. That's where we get caught up in this vicious diet cycle, and also the mental dialogue that goes with that. When chatting with another client and I start to kind of hear that almost shame, that remorse.
Well, and if my next door neighbor spoke to me the way I speak to myself, I could have him arrested for assault at times. Right? And, realizing when that's happening and shutting it off.
Yeah.
Just stop.
I always say you got to give it a different name.
Just stop.
You got to name that voice.
Yes.
You got to name that voice. Name it something else. Mine's Sharda.
Mine's Eddie Haskell.
Because mine will want me. My immediate relief, I want to pop the cork and pour that glass of Chardonnay and feel that drop on my shoulders and feel better.
And mine's an angel in the house and a devil on the street, right? So it's like, we're going to do gnarly bad things.
But you got to, if you name it, if you give it the voice of somebody else,
just stop listening to it.
Now it's not you.
Have you ever seen the movie A Beautiful Mind?
A long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Yeah.
This brilliant mathematician, he realized that he just didn't have to listen to the schizophrenic, and he was schizophrenic. Yeah. These people existed for him, even though they didn't. But he was able to realize that, okay, they may exist for me, but they don't exist for the actual world. So I'm just going to ignore them. Yeah. So you just move past them, because those voices happen because there's a time in our life when they suited us. There was a time in our life when we needed those voices. There was a time in our life when those voices provided value and structure and needed in something. And
tried to protect us.
They did.
He was trying to protect us from something.
But they don't anymore.
Yeah.
They don't. So we have to be able to recognize when something no longer suits us, when that's an empty well, and when to move on and find the new well.
Yep.
and not be afraid to do it.
That's a great point of just finding out what doesn't serve us anymore. Pick that out, find a new well, dive into that. Yeah. You said something, you guys talked about Eddie Haskell and Sharda there is, the awareness, just having that awareness to say, this is not me and this does not serve me.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to this. Pick it up, pluck it out, set it aside, flick it away, toss it in the trash, flush it down the toilet, whatever you got to do.
But do it kindly and lovingly.
Yeah.
Know that it came to you for a purpose. At no point am I angry at Eddie Haskell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Haskell got me through periods in my life where I needed him.
They did serve us. Yes, they did serve a purpose.
He absolutely did, but he doesn't any longer. And I can move on as long as I move on from a kind and loving place.
Mm-hmm.
And as Shara said, I have to treat myself the way that I would treat my own children.
Yeah.
Right. And just like I opened it up in the very beginning where, my children aren't mine, my body's not mine either. I am a temporary custodian of this body.
Mm-hmm.
And it is my responsibility to treat that body with the same amount of respect and care and love that I'm treating my own children with.
Right.
Because it all is temporary custodianship. There will come a point where I will turn the body back over. Right. Get the most out of it while I'm doing that.
I like that. Everybody should take notes on that one. That is powerful. That's some powerful stuff right there. Treating it with love and kindness is huge because, one of my biggest things, and I'm just going to call it out there is, I am very hard on myself for things that I know that I've done that are not very kind or very good or hurt other people. I do not forgive myself. And I find it very hard to move forward without guilting myself all the time. And it lingers and it sticks and it piles on me and it gets very heavy at times. So I need to learn to not put myself in that guilt jail, but to be able to forgive myself, but move on in kindness and in love to say, okay, that was you. That is what you did. Let's move forward. Let's just remember not to do that anymore because that doesn't serve us and that's not who we want to be. And I think that's very, very relatable. I know I'm not the only one that does that sort of thing. So hopefully if anybody's listening to that, you can pick that up and run with it. That is important. That's huge, Mark. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's important. So, moving on with your guys' journey in this not only just health program of getting your bodies healthy, not only with your mindset of improving that and now learning how to process some of these, stresses and this emotional baggage that just comes with life. You guys have been able to really impact a lot of people and really help change lives for the better. So can you kind of shed some more of your story on that part as far as now you guys have decided to become health coaches and how is that going for you?
Yeah. Well, I guess let's start with
that's a very big statement.
I didn't narrow that one down at all. Just, hey, how's it going with the coaching?
And I guess this is a great time. I don't even know if you've done this. We like to measure our success by lives impacted. And we officially broke 1,000 lives touched, which is big, which is very big. So, these are people that welcome us in to their life. This is a very vulnerable thing to reach out and say, I need help, right? Way beyond, I need to lose some weight. It always starts there. But as we know, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
What brought them to that point?
Yeah.
If you're really seeking long-term solution, long-term wellness, you got to be willing. We just say willing to take a look at what brought you to this point and creating a safe space for them to be open about that. And, we call it your why, right? You have three whys because the why is that important. And, people willingly, they reach out and they were able to partner with them. And it's a really beautiful, beautiful experience. And selfishly, by us doing that and helping other people, it's what's kept us accountable to our own health and wellness goals. That's the way it works. What do we say? It's the most altruistically selfish program there is. By us helping you get everything you want, we're rewarded with our own health and well-being, and with such a full heart, full servant's heart to be able to help other people. I mean, you can't really put to words what we do, Josh. Once you impact a life, one person, one grandmother saying, because of you, I can now get down on the floor and play with my grandchild.
Yes.
You can't put a price tag on that. You truly can't. I mean, it's the best. It's the best thing.
And that's hearing it from them too. That's not experiencing it. I mean, we've experienced it, but possibly not to the level that they have. So for us to receive that, to say, I'm now a participant in my family again, I'm not a spectator, I'm able to do this, that is so fulfilling. But for them, it's just so much more impactful. So good on good when it comes to that.
And I say this and I always caveat it, the pandemic, no matter what your beliefs on COVID and this whole experience that we've all been in for going on 24 months, no one would deny the tremendous loss that's happened to people out there. Right. Mm-hmm. We've all been touched by senseless and heart-filled loss. Right. So what I say here, I say with respect there. Mm-hmm. In our home, COVID was, candidly, like a real blessing. It put me home for the first time.
Yeah.
So our oldest son, Kelly, was born, and he had like a heart thing, that they were extra cautious about. And we were blessed with great healthcare. So they put him in the NICU unit and they put him in observation. And he was born on a Sunday. He was in the NICU unit by Sunday night. I was at work on Monday morning. I went to work. I went to the office. Shara stayed, hidden out in the hospital.
I wouldn't leave.
She wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
But I went to work. Right. The story of my family life and the story of our life was my career. My personal identity became very centered around my job title and my income. Yeah. And I don't regret any of it. This goes back to regrets, right? I don't regret any of it because it created this life that we live. But around COVID, right, and being home, I had, for the first time in my adult life, I had a baseball catch with my sons at lunch. And I still get emotional thinking about it. It was magical.
I bet. Oh my God.
Every single morning, my kids came down the stairs every morning, and they were met by mom and dad sitting at the table, having coffee and breakfast with each other. Those were mornings I would be fighting the traffic down the 110 freeway heading into downtown LA.
Yeah.
And, over the course of that COVID 2020 world, I started having these experiences every day. And I wasn't in airplanes, and I wasn't in hotel rooms. I wasn't in downtown LA. I wasn't in these places. And then we had a trip. We went to Montana, and we were traveling to Montana because the kids had school remote. I worked remote, right? Shara was a full-time health coach and business coach. So she was remote, and we could do it. And we were driving up the 15 freeway, and it's in this little spot. I'll tell you what, if I drove through it, I would remember it. It was that monumental.
Yeah.
And as we're coming through this canyon, we were in Idaho, Utah, Montana, someplace there, right as we were approaching the Continental Divide. And in my mind, I'm in fantasy land of I can't wait to get to. We all know that, right? Mm-hmm. I can't wait to not be here and be there.
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? In my mind, I was in that Montana Airbnb, and I was creating this beautiful world of what I'm going to get to.
Expectation.
Yeah.
Right. And then I look in my rearview mirror to check the traffic, and I see all three of my boys asleep, and my dog asleep, their chocolate lab asleep on their lap, and our little rescue mutt asleep with his head on our chocolate lab's neck. And I look over the passenger seat, and Cher is propped up against the window asleep, and Tim McGraw is playing over the radio. And I had this moment, and I realized that the journey, the destination is the journey. And it was in that moment that I realized that there was going to be no moment in Montana any more beautiful than this moment I was in right then.
That's beautiful.
All of them are. And it was that moment that I realized that my career had to change.
Yeah.
That what my job was and what my business was were two different things. That my job was to provide in healthcare and that stuff, but my business was my family.
Yeah.
And my business was my children, and my business was that. And 6 months later is when, I became a health coach, and it all happened because of that drive. It all happened because of that moment. It all happened because of that realization of that moment. And candidly, all of that was inevitable. I get it. I was on the 15 freeway, but really that journey started on December 11th, 2014. Yep. None of that can happen without the vehicle of our health and wellness program, because it kept growing with us, right? It started by losing 13 and a half pounds. Then it moved to helping my father-in-law regain his health. Then it moved with giving my wife an exit out of a corporate career that she didn't get any fulfillment out of. Then it moved into me.
Yeah.
And through all of it, it's impacted over 1,000 people.
Wow.
So, saying that we're blessed is an understatement. And for me, love is an action word. The only way that I love you is by what I do for you. And the opportunity that we have to be able to show people love by helping them be able to get down and play with their children, by allowing me to be there and have a catch with my son, by me going to a friend that I've known since I was maybe 10 and give her an avenue to being a healthy mother, by having another friend and giving him a healthy avenue to be a provider to his children. That is how we get to show people that we love them.
Yep. Yeah.
Hopefully we answered your question.
Sorry, what?
I said, hopefully we answered your question.
Yeah, I'm taking that all in. I'm like, whoa, that is such, those words are beautiful. The picture you painted of that moment in the car, of knowing what your business was. This is my business. This is my journey. This is, if we haven't experienced that yet, if anybody out there hasn't experienced yet, when you do, always remember that. Always keep that close to your heart, because that was what carries you through the tough times. And I'm not talking about just your health journey. I'm not talking about anything other than just whatever's important to you. When you have your why, when you have that close to your heart, keep it there. Keep it there, because so much will just weigh us down, tell us that we can't do it. It will give us the fuel we need to get to where we're going. And so you guys are just, you're on fire when it comes to helping people. Over 1,000 people now. That is incredible. And I cannot wait to see in another 6 months where you guys are at, in another year, how many lives have been impacted, and how many stories just like yours are being written out there for other people. They're having their neck sweating moments, or their perfect car moments with their family, and where they really they get it. So thank you guys for sharing that. Thank you for listening to those moments and paying attention to them, because now thousands and thousands of people are being affected, or will be affected, because of you paying attention to those moments and saying, this is going to be my defining moment. So thank you guys. You're an inspiration to not only myself, but the thousand people that you've helped already, and the people watching this. You guys, this is why I had to have you on the show, because I needed people to hear it. I needed to hear it. And anybody else watching, they're going to get something from this too. So thank you guys so much for that.
Thank you.
But we're about out of time now. Not counting my 15 minutes of messing around on the computer, but I know what I'm getting for Christmas. New computer.
No, it was a lot of fun. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It was our pleasure to come on. And we love that you're putting it out there.
Yeah, it's
we
important.
love that you're giving people the platform to talk about, to share their mess. We say we make our mess our message. That's where we are able to connect with others, because so often we feel that voice will tell us that we're different, we're unique. It isolates us. And that's the last thing we want to do, is be isolated. Right. We need to come together and connect. That's where the love is. So thank you for inviting us on.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. And if anybody is wondering what this program is, more information on it, they feel they need some change going on, like I always say, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to Shara and Mark, or any of the amazing coaches that we've had on this program. And we would love to hear your story. We would love to meet you where you are and take it and run. So everybody, this was our holiday edition. Can't you tell from all the festive stuff going on in this scene right here? So happy holidays to everybody. We'll be back next week. By the way, next week is one that you do not want to miss, because we're going to end the year big. All right, guys, take care, and we will see you next week.
Later.
Bye.